Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 22. Here, kitty, kitty. Feathers finally starting to grow back. Wanna fly, wanna fly, wanna fly! Sorry, you got 3 more days till they come in full, Gilda assured me. Only 3 more days till I could get some exercise. I'd spent the greater part of the past week and a half reading up on the feline jungle, or, as it's known in Equestria, the Great Southern Rainforest, as well as the volcanic wastes. The book I had on diamond dogs was useless, as it was outdated and I had 2 perfectly good sources of information. When Itch and Growl weren't digging up gems and magic rocks, as they like to call them, I spent some time teaching them to read. They figured out the English alphabet pretty quick, and they could now write sentences that, while grammatically incorrect on every level, were at least understandable. They fared far better with reading once they knew the letters. They just needed to sound the words out. It helped that they could already talk. I have to say, Griffin, the new feathers look pretty good. More colorful. How old did you say you were? Gilda asked. 19, why? That explains it. Age and maturity. You've lost your kid feathers and have adult ones now. Aha! So I'm of age and the feathers are more colorful to try and attract a mate. So, like what you see? I know I was hot before, but now I must be damn sexy! I teased while spinning myself around so I could get a better look as well. Gilda blushed, then quickly gave me a nuggie over to cover it up. Ah, shut up, she scowled. I didn't hear a no. Trixie, on their hand, just laughed at our antics. Just hurry up and grow your feathers back so we can get out of here. I think we should go further into the jungle and farther from the equestrian border. You miss riding on my back, don't you? Yes. Well, don't worry about it. As soon as I'm good to go, we'll be doing a lot more of that. In the middle of the night, the day before we set out, I was awoken by a hard punching in my arm. Figured something must have happened, so Gilda was getting me up. How wrong I was. I awoke to find some kind of cat thing pinning me to the floor with an ivory dagger pressed against my throat. It was dark, so I couldn't really get a clear look. Fuck. Good, you're awake, the cat thing said. I wanted you to see this coming. First things first, you're going to tell me where you took my father, and then I'm going to tie you up, parade you through town, pluck you, and cook you alive in burning oil. Eh? I noticed something smash on her face, fumes coming from it. I quickly exhaled and held it, the cat thing falling off me unconscious. After I got myself up, I careful not to inhale any of the knockout gas that had fallen around me. Trixie used her magic to light the gem torches along the wall. Nice save, Trix. You're getting more useful by the day. Why, thank you. What do you want to do with it? Tie it up. We'll deal with it in the morning. Morning came, the rest of the camp having stayed awake through the night to watch any more intruders. There were none. With the light, I finally got a better look at the cat thing that had attacked me. It looked like a cat person. Bipedal, tall, fur, the whole deal. A bona fide Khajiit, but with eyes wide that ponies have to make them look cute. She was basically a furry's dream come true. I say she because I could now tell that she was clearly a female. I assembled the crew, instructing them to let me do the talking, and to whisper to me if they had something to add. The creature finally began to stir, and on noticing it was bound, it tried to get its dagger, but I put my claw down on it and lifted it up to my face. Nice knife. You should really have a second one hidden in case you get tied up. And with that, suddenly her ropes went slack, and she dove at me with an ebony dagger. The white one was a straight edge, while the black one was a kriss. I rolled on my back, my paws meeting her chest and flipping her into the tree. She dropped her blade, only to find it at her throat, being held by me. I noticed that it had a fluid on it. Not so much that was dripping, but quite a lot of it. Poison. That was too close for comfort. Clever girl. Full of surprises. Any more you want to tell me about? She just scowled. Etch, Growl. Mind tying her back up? Alright. Doesn't say anything about cat people. Care to explain who you are and why you're trying to kill me? As if you don't know, she spat. She had spunk, this one. Let's pretend I don't. I'm Nadine of the Vren tribe. You kidnapped my father and enslaved my village, keeping him hostage to ensure we did what you asked of us, taking all of our belongings. You worthless pirate bastard, I'll kill you! Okay. Everyone huddle. Growl, keep an eye on her, she's a sneaky one. The bulky dog stood in front of her with his arms crossed, the cat scowling and pouting. What the hell? I didn't do anything like that. I didn't even know there were cat people here. Beats me, Gilda replied. Sounds to me like she's mistaken you for somebody else, Trixie suggested. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure this out. So, Nadine. Do not speak my name, she hissed like a cat does when she's backed into a corner. Listen, cat bitch. Do you know who I am? You are Griffin the Griffin. You and your band enslaved my village. Do you not remember? I watched as you killed my mother and drugged my father. You burnt down half the village, she said with another hiss. When did this happen? 12 days ago. Yeah, funny thing about that, I just finished molting. I ripped out all my feathers out and they finally grew back. I've been stuck in this damn tree house for the past 14 days. You lie! Oh? I don't see your father around here, whoever he is. I've never heard of you or your people before. Oh, look, here's all my feathers. At which point I dumped a bag of the plumes on her head. She sneezed and squiggled, trying to get them off. Looks like you've mistaken me for someone else, lady. You are not Captain Griffin of the Griffin Pirates? She tilted her head to the side. No, that's me. Then you admit it, she growled. Admit what? 12 days ago, 2 griffins and a unicorn entered our village, burned half of it down, killed my mother, kidnapped my father, and enslaved the rest of us. They called themselves the Griffin Pirates, and they would kill any who opposed them. We're not fighters. We could not stop you. It's why you picked our tribe instead of another. Nadine was crying. Sorry for your loss, but here's where you're wrong. I did no such thing. I've been here the past 2 weeks and in Wethoof before that. What's more, our group is about ending slavery. There's no way in hell we'd enslave anyone, much less an entire village. And we don't kidnap either. I think I know what happened, Etch spoke up, something uncharacteristic of him. Go ahead. We have imposters, the dog with his scratchy voice suggested. You're damn right we do. Here's what happened. A trio of pansy-ass wannabes looking to cause trouble and get rich quick stumbled upon your little village. And since they couldn't take you all on at once, they pretended to be us because we're badasses to scare you all in order to keep you in line. Cut her loose and give her blades back. Nadine was shocked to hear what I had just said. Imposters, actually weaklings hoping to capitalize on a village of peaceful natives. So you guys know what we're gonna do, right? Given the circumstances, I don't think we need a vote on this. Fuck yeah, let's go kick the crap out of him. Gilda dug her claws into the wood of the floor, raring and looking for blood. I'm going to enjoy this, Trixie cackled like a witch. How-wah! The dogs pounded their chest. Let's gear up, it's time to. I put the glasses over my eyes. Take out the trash. I looked around expecting to hear, yeah! But I was disappointed. We donned our weapons and armors, and we're ready to set out. Okay, so we're going to walk there. If we fly, we're going to get spotted. We waltz into the village like we own it, and if we find out where we are, and make them beg for mercy. Since there's no way we can carry all of you anyway, and Nadine knows the way on foot, we follow her. Everyone, pack our stuff up. Let's go kill some imposters. So, Nadine, you said you're from the Vren tribe? Is that a species or what? No, we have no name for our kind as a whole. We are different tribes, each with different villages. Our kind is at peace with one another. Those with like minds come together and form a village, while those who do not agree form their own far away so that we may not encounter them. Our village, Valen, is one of the larger tribes. We are so close to the sacred grove, which holds many herbs which we use for potions, and so our people are well trained as apothecaries. We, however, shunned the arts of war. I practiced in secret. Father was very disappointed when he discovered me, she explained. So you're a potion maker, then? No, that is my father, Rack, the village chief. I know much of the craft, but it is not something I wish to do with my life. I seek adventure. My father tells me that I should stay in the village, make potions, and be a shaman. That life is dull. I wish to travel to see the world. Can he not see that he is stifling me? I saw her with sad eyes, but a glimmer in them. Wanderlust. She wanted to get out there and see the world, and she couldn't. All I have to do is save the village, and I could convince her to join us. She's clearly a skilled fighter, and a sneaky one at that. Despite not being what she wants to do, she's a potion maker. Obvious choice. Thank you, Lady Luck. You know I love you. Oh, what's that? You want jewelry? Well, I don't see why not. Shh, we are here, the cat hissed softly. The dogs glared. I could tell why they didn't like her. I mean, cats and dogs. Duh. Looking at the village, there were several huts that were partly destroyed, blackened by the flame. There on a chair, being carried by several tiger-ish looking cat people, a griffin, relaxing, flanked by another griffin, and a dark blue unicorn. The hell? They don't even look like us. Are you serious? The unicorn's colors are all wrong. Same with the feather colors on the griffins. The guy who's supposed to be has green feathers. Green! How the hell did you mistake them for us? Well, my kind is colorblind, Nadine explained sheepishly. And yet you take herbs and plants, many of which have similar shape and are only distinguishable by color, and make potions for them? We can tell by the feel and scent of the herbs. Father lost his eyes years ago, yet he still makes the finest potions. I face Claude. Okay, enough of this bullshit. Let's do the big reveal. Trix, send an illusion to me first. Make it dive at the guy and then turn it to smoke. Her horn began to glow, making an exact copy of mine, minus her, and had it exit the bush. My clone let out a vicious shriek, dove at the griffin in the chair, then vanished as it connected to him. He became so frightened that he fell off. He then began looking around frantically for his non-existent attacker. Well, that proves that theory. He's a scaredy cat. Okay, we know now that they're pansies. Only reason they could take over is because you're not fighters. Let's show them what real pirates do. We marched out of the bush, looking mad as hell. The trio of fakers looked up, quite frightened. They knew that Jake was up. So, someone thinks it's fun to play pirate, do they? The green one, also a male, gulped. The rest of the town that was watching were incredibly confused as to what 2 more griffins, a unicorn, 2 diamond dogs, and Nadine were doing. Watch your mouth, you peasant! Don't you know you're speaking with the great captain of the Griffin Pirates? He tried to keep up his show. Wait, that voice, it seems familiar somehow. No matter. I drew Hades, slamming it to the ground. You know, that's funny. Because last I checked, Griffin the Griffin was me. Not some pansy little fruit fly like you. You want to fight about it? He prepared a fighting stance. I laughed. He had no fucking idea what he was doing. This was going to be hilarious. I casually tossed an exploding vial, which hit him square in the chest and knocked him on his back. The other 2 stood in front of him, the unicorn throwing a flame spill at me. Compared to dragon flames, it was pitifully weak. Of course, Hades saw to it that there was a slightly scorched unicorn about a second later as the magic bounced off. Second griffin flew away, not even bothering to try to fight. Smart girl. She knew she couldn't win. The first griffin got back up, ready to fight again. Nadine, would you do the honors? This guy is pathetic. I've seen you fight. You could handle all 3 of them yourself. Nadine purred. Damn, that was so cute. She pulled out her ebony and ivory daggers, holding them in her paws reversed so they were pointing backwards. So you figured it would be fun to pick on a peaceful village because they hate fighting and refuse to defend themselves. Getting those other 2 to follow you and wreck stuff? Guess what? It looks like one of them knows how to fight, and is more than willing to. The unicorn was grabbed by Gilda and struck into the ground by her horn, unable to move. It was hilarious. The green griffin stood up and prepared to fight. She instructed me that this was her fight and to stay out of it. Nadine and Green dove at each other, her daggers and his claws clashing, blocking each other. He was heavier than she was, so he began to overwhelm her. He started pecking at her, trying to pierce her throat. She moved her head from side to side, before finally having enough and biting his shoulder. He jumped backwards in pain as the cat readied her fighting stance again. The griffin began to laugh. Remember, I'm the only one who knows where your father is. If you kill me, you'll never find him, and he'll die. You'll lose your village chief. You can't kill me. Nadine broke out of her fighting stance, letting her daggers fall to the ground. The griffin pounced, punching her over and over again, as she made no attempts to defend herself. Finally, when he was satisfied, he began to laugh again. Not so tough now, are you? My eyes opened wide in realization. Now I know where I heard that voice before. I immediately dove at him, knocking him off balance. He tried to stab me with his claws, but I corkscrewed his arm around him, put the other arm on the inside of his shoulders, and pulled it out of its socket. Not again! He screamed in pain. Carl, you fucking bastard! He was overcome by shock as I said his name. How do you know my name? He screamed in pain. Because this is the second time I've dislocated your arm. Griffin? He stuttered, suddenly realizing the irony that he had taken on my name. Damn right, bitch. Enjoy walking home barefoot? I smirked. You son of a bitch, what the hell are you doing here? He raged. I could ask you the same thing. I got all pissed off, so I went and got high. And some weirdo with a glass of wine and a fruit bowl asked me what was wrong. I told him what happened, and he said I needed a vacation, and he could send me somewhere with fantastic drugs. I decided to take him up on his offer, and then he snapped his fingers and sent me to this hellhole. Sure, they got plenty of plans for smoking, but getting eaten by a fucking tiger ain't worth it. He would have been red in the face from rage, but he was in too much pain. Serves you right. I give you a damn kidney and you did nothing but make my life miserable. Wait, that was you? He looked in shock. I never told him it was me. Yeah, and I knew who I was giving it to, but I demanded that they never tell anyone. Didn't want him coming back to me. Then, not a month later, you began picking on me. Also, your drug addict friends would think you were cool. 6 years I regretted saving your life. Now, I'm gonna fix my mistake. New body, no rules. Carl shivered in terror. The very same green-haired punk who picked on me, who pulled a knife on me above the freeway. He had been sent here by a mystery man. Funny, he didn't look so tough anymore. Hands over his head and a puddle of his own waste. I was really going to enjoy this. I sliced off his non-dislocated arm with Hades and then lifted him into the air. I plucked all of his feathers from him. He wasn't molting, meaning that they weren't ready to come out and were a bajillion times more painful to remove. Once he was naked, I punched him into a bloody pulp. Nadine had gotten back up and watched as I furiously pummeled the one who had caused her village so much pain. Stop, please! Tell me where the village chief is. He's in the temple to the southeast. He's tied to the table in the second room on the left. And the villagers' valuables? Same place, third room on the right. Good. Nighty-night. I smashed a knockout vial in his face, causing him to pass out. I then turned to the unicorn. Sweet Celestia, please no! She cowered, Gilda pushing into the ground next to her unconscious leader. What's to do with you? Nadine, you okay? She nodded. The villagers looked very angry at me for some reason. What? We despise violence. You have stained the ground with blood. You are not welcome here. Leave immediately! One of them looked at me angrily. What are you going to do about it? I glared back at him, causing him to shrink visibly. That's what I thought. Problems from home followed me here, and now I'm going to take care of them. Several of the villagers returned. The chief, looking like a man-tiger with no eyes, entered the town with a cart behind him filled with food and herbs and such, being supported by many of the others. Father! Nadine cried, writing her arms of the bland dad. I'm so glad you're all right, Father. I am not your father, he deadpanned. What? She was taken aback with tears in her eyes. Your thirst for adventure. You trained yourselves to fight in our village. You made poisons. The gods punished us by sending these griffins scourge, and since you brought these ones, you have spilled even more blood on this sacred ground. We shall be punished further. Leave this village and never return. Only then may we be spared the spirit's wrath. He turned away, Nadine weeping bitterly. With a gentle tug on her arm, I pulled her away from the scene. Edgen growled, dragging Carl behind them. We told the unicorn to get the hell out of here and rethink her life. She ran away as fast as she could. We set up camp about a mile outside the village. Nadine was lethargic. Being turned out by her own father was the worst. I know it happened to me too. Hey, cheer up, kiddo. Your father still loves you. He's just doing you a favor. What? She blinked to look at me, the sun now setting behind. He knows you want to go on an adventure. This was his way of telling you to go out there and do it. In his heart, he knows that if you had been ready to fight, this whole thing could have been avoided. It was his way of severing the ties and setting you free while still saving face with the village. He wants you to be happy, to come with us. What use can I be to you? You're so strong. I was too weak to even try and defend myself. There's more than one way to be strong. You couldn't kill him because of your love for your father, so you stood there and took it. I know what it's like to be trapped like that, which is why I have my crew to bail me out. Together, we are strong. Besides, we need a potion maker. I dropped the herbology book in front of her. I can't figure this crap out. So what do you say? Do you want to join the Griffin Pirates? As she sat on the wooden floor of the treehouse, which she very easily climbed up onto, she looked at me with tears in her eyes. My expression was one of warmth and caring. She nodded. Good. There's just one little thing we have to take care of. Carl here needs to be put out of his misery. I seem to remember you saying something about boiling me in oil. Since we don't have any of that, how about a dagger dipped in manticore venom? We don't know what it does, and this worthless piece of shit volunteered to be a test subject when he pissed me off. Let's wait for him to wake up, though. As Carl awoke, he groaned in pain, and then realized he was pinned by a very angry-looking Nadine. Oh, shit! Well, Carl, looks like you made a very bad choice trying to keep your old habits when you came here. This little kitty cat here is a skilled potion maker. And lucky you, since you killed her mother, you won the lottery and get to test some of them out. Nadine took her white dagger, thoroughly coated it in the green ooze of the manticore venom, and stabbed it into his right arm. He didn't scream at all, simply staring at the thick ichor mixed in with his blood. Neurotoxin. Kills the nerves. Painless. Also lethal. Damn it, I was hoping it would be like acid or something so you'd suffer more. Come on, you have a cure for this, right? Hey man, come on! I'm sorry about picking on you, okay? You wouldn't leave a fellow Griffin hanging, would you? He begged. Little known fact. Most Griffins are slaves. Every one of them has a family member in captivity, and as such would never force that on someone else. You did, ergo, you are not a Griffin. You also killed the innocent. You are guilty of crimes deserving of death, and in this lawless place I am your judge, jury, and executioner. You may be from the same place as me, but you aren't the same. Echo is a diamond dog, and he's more like me than you are. My only regret is that I saved your life in the first place. I could have saved myself a world of pain if I had just let you die. Good news! When I became a Griffin, it's a completely new body. I have all my organs. It's time to erase the past. Now die! I stabbed him in the throat with my sword, going all the way through, taking off his head. I casually dumped the body off the tree, where a slithen, a type of snake similar to an anaconda, began to try and eat it. Poor thing would die when the venom of the body got into his bloodstream. I tossed the cat woman a necklace with a dragon's tooth on it, which she then put on. Nadine, welcome to the crew. Dear Princess Celestia, you want to know how to make your horn 30% larger today? Sincerely, Griffin.